Hey ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sergey. Today I thought I'd do a more relaxing video of Sergey Speaks. Hold on while I adjust this microphone so it's at a decent level where you can actually hear me. 3, 2, 1, bada boom, boom, boom. I've been told that I'm someone who you want to hear a nice, relaxing, calm story. You want to listen to my soothing voice. You want to listen to me talk about a subject and inform you guys and give you information and a relaxing, calm, sort of chill vibe. Now, when I think of things that are chill, calm, and relaxing, I think of things like child trafficking, government corruption, and of course, Bill Clinton. I thought for this episode of Sergey Speaks, I would do something a little different. I'd just sit down and tell you guys a story, but not one from my life. No. I'm going to tell you the life, the epic rise and fall of a man known as Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I'm sure you guys all know who Jeffrey Epstein is. I mean, he is all over the news, except for on liberal media, because, I mean, if you look into Jeffrey Epstein, that pretty much exposes, like, every liberal politician ever as being a pedophile. You don't want that, so they aren't covering it. So it is my job to bring to you the truth. I am a huge conspiracy theorist. The amount that I love conspiracies is even larger than my own. And everyone knows the overall story of Jeffrey Epstein, but many people don't know the nitty-gritty, the beginning and the end, and where is it going from here. They don't know that about Jeffrey Epstein. And I am going to sit down in a calm, relaxing way, bring to you the truth about Jeffrey Epstein. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea. If you're Hillary Clinton, grab a cup of baby's blood. That's going to be a thing that is revealed in this story. And sit back as I reveal to you the true rise and fall of an American icon, Jeffrey Epstein. So before we can truly get into the man Jeffrey Epstein, we have to first get into a man known as Robert Maxwell. To set the stage, back in the 40s there was a thing called the Holocaust. Very bad. But then the Holocaust ended. Very good. But after the Holocaust ended, there was a man known as Robert Maxwell, who basically spied on everyone ever for the state of Israel and the Mossad. So basically, he was like he was the James Bond of Israel at a time when Israel was not even a country yet. That was how they formed Israel. People loved Robert Maxwell so much that when he died, they held parades in his honor in Israel. That is Jeffrey Epstein's father-in-law. So, Robert Maxwell, it is pretty much confirmed. Not confirmed, but it may as well be that he was part of the Mossad. He was bringing people onto a ranch, getting blackmail on them so they can set up the state of Israel. Now, Robert Maxwell had a daughter. Her name was GHISLAINE Maxwell, and she will be very important later on in the story. Believe she will be very important, trust me. Now, cut to like the 90s. The 90s is a turbulent time. The internet first came onto the scene.
The internet. Hold on, sis.
Good old Bill Clinton was president.
Want to write a letter to President Clinton?
Every 90s sitcom was like the worst show ever. It was a bad time to be alive, unless you were Jeffrey Epstein. You see, good old Bill Clinton has a opportunity at the White House to meet several wealthy and powerful people he might not even necessarily know. They are each given 1 minute with the president at the time, good old Bill Clinton. So one man will bring up, hey, I am a stock investor, invest in my stocks. I am a scientific researcher, invest in my scientific research. But then up comes one man, his name is Jeffrey Epstein. And Jeffrey Epstein basically goes up to Bill Clinton in his 1 minute of time with the President of the United States. Jeffrey Epstein comes up to him and says, you know, I have this island in the Virgin Islands. I think you should really check it out, if you know what I mean. And Bill Clinton goes, what the heck is he talking about? And then another person comes up to him and is like, invest in my golf course. And then another person comes up to him and she is named GHISLAINE Maxwell. Alright, well what do you have to offer me? And GHISLAINE goes, you should really know about this man named Jeffrey Epstein. He has an island, and I think you'll really like it if you know what I mean. And then Bill Clinton goes, well that was real weird and sketchy. I better check this island out right now. Before you know it, Jeffrey Epstein has made a name for himself in the world as this famous hedge fund manager who coincidentally has 0 records of ever doing business with anyone ever. It's like if you went to my Instagram page and said I'm a photographer and you looked and it was all just like book quotes. That's what it would be like. Jeffrey Epstein is all like, oh, I'm a hedge fund manager. By the way, I have like a $6 million fortune that no one knows how it actually was given to me. Jeffrey Epstein has like trillions of dollars. He's literally the Jewish Bruce Wayne in terms of he has so much money, but at the same time, he has been known to have a private plane. Like all private planes, Jeffrey Epstein decides to give it a very innocent and non-guilty sounding name, such as the Lolita Express. Like, there's no way you, like, register a private jet, like, with a U.S., because you have to register jets in your name. They say, all right, what is your jet named? What is your private jet named? And Jeffrey Epstein goes, oh, I'm going to name it the Lolita Express. No one is like, that's a strange thing to do. It's like he named his private jet after one of the most famous pedophilia books of all time. And you're like, oh, wow, he's a child molester? No way. So by now, Jeffrey Epstein has made his way up in the ranks of the socialite leaders of the world. He's hanging out with Prince Andrew, who's also a pedophile. He's hanging out with all these people. And he's like, well, what association does he have with them? Are they just friends? And then, boom, Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in 2006. What for, you may ask? Oh, literally molesting children. Jeffrey Epstein, he is arrested, and they find that he has a private jet named the Lolita Express, but that also, there's some shady stuff going on. In the form of he has like 14-year-old prostitutes on the plane and on an island. So obviously someone who is human trafficking underage children, these innocent lives exploited and ruined. Obviously, a child molester, an evil person like that, gets 6 months of work release prison. Does that make sense, right? You know, that's what happens to everyone. So basically, after 6 months of going to jail on weekends, yes, on weekends for 6 months, Jeffrey Epstein returns to normal life, and guess what? He's never heard from again. Until
billionaire businessman Jeffrey Epstein was arrested in New York Saturday on federal charges related to sex trafficking.
(2019). All of a sudden, you turn on the news, boom, Jeffrey Epstein arrested for soliciting children. Again, whoever saw that coming? Now something even bigger is uncovered this time. It is discovered that not only does he have a private jet called the Lolita Express, not only does he have his own private island, where he literally houses sex slaves who are underage. Not only does he traffic children, not only does he solicit children for sexual favors, but also someone was able to dig up the flight logs of who exactly went on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Obviously, we know that Jeffrey Epstein's plane, you went on the plane to go to the island to, participate in these heinous activities with underage sex slaves. Now, they look in the flight log like, oh wow, Bill Clinton flew on this plane 26 times. Oh wow, Donald Trump went on this plane like 10 times. Oh wow, like every politician ever went on Jeffrey Epstein's sex slave island. Wow, this is really suspicious. Oh boom, Jeffrey Epstein kills himself. So once these flight logs come out, this is not a good thing for big, powerful Clinton. So Jeffrey Epstein, while in jail, attempts suicide. Fair enough. Someone who's been publicly shamed like this as a child molester and pedophile, it would make sense for them to not be able to bear the guilt of all this. After his suicide attempt, they realize Jeffrey Epstein is an important person and revealing all these child trafficking rings, and he can prove very valuable to the court in trying to save more children and trying to expose more pedophiles in the elite. So they move Jeffrey Epstein to a maximum security prison. And all of a sudden, literally all the cameras go out, the night guards fall asleep, and he hangs himself, even though the neck fissures are not consistent with a suicide, they're more consistent with a homicide. And the dude he was in the cell with was literally like an MMA bodyguard, ex-police cop who had killed several people. Obviously it was a suicide. So news shocked the world. Jeffrey Epstein officially dead by suicide. Except there were some fishy things going on. Like, for example, in this maximum security prison, suddenly all the cameras just went out specifically on the floor he was staying at. But it's okay, cameras can malfunction. I can forgive that. But then, the night guards just suddenly fell asleep on the specific hour that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. But then the New York State Police Department does an autopsy and they go, it was a suicide. But the minute anyone else besides the New York Police Department does an autopsy, they're like, this was definitely a homicide. So now that Jeffrey Epstein is officially gone, done, dead, we have to go, all right, who is the next person we can interrogate, who we can probe to see if they have information to prevent more kids from being hurt? The obvious answer is, remember GHISLAINE Maxwell? Let's talk to her. She was Jeffrey Epstein's business partner and romantic partner as well for several decades. Let's ask her. Oh wait, she's literally she's just gone. Except she posts one photo on Instagram of her reading a book about CIA agents who have been killed by the government. And then things start to come together. As more and more information comes out, people start to realize, oh wait, Jeffrey Epstein actually had this island so he could film famous politicians, celebrities, Prince Andrew, presidents, with underage people, underage prostitutes, and they could have dirt on those to then sway things in his direction with blackmail. All of a sudden, now that Bill Clinton is revealed to be on the pedophile plane 26 times, then all of a sudden, boom, he's dead. Very suspicious. They raid Jeffrey Epstein's home. They find a painting of Bill Clinton in the blue Monica Lewinsky dress. They literally find a temple painted with the flag of Iraq colors. So things are not looking good for anyone involved in this situation. But then, fast forward to like a month ago, GHISLAINE Maxwell is arrested. And this time, they ain't letting her get killed. They go, No, you may not get murdered and then have it covered up as a suicide. We are going to interrogate the hello out of you, and that is exactly what they did. But then also, like, judges' sons got shot in the face, and like everyone investigating it like literally died. And then they found a photo of Ghislaine Maxwell literally standing right next to John Benet Ramsey. The story literally got insanely crazier. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to today. What will happen to Ghislaine Maxwell? What will happen to all the people involved in this pedophile ring? Probably absolutely nothing. As sorry as I am to say it, I am willing to bet my last $1,000 that Jack will happen to Bill Clinton, Jack will happen to Hillary Clinton, Jack will happen to all these people who went on the pedophile plane, the Lolita Express with Jeffrey Epstein to have sex with underage prostitutes. Nothing's gonna happen to them, which is unfortunate. But here's what we can learn. Don't molest children. Now, if you needed a video to know that, you've got some serious problems. But it's a good rule of thumb in life. Jeffrey Epstein was truly a bad man, but he was also a good key. He was the key to which all the secrets of the elite, these people worshiping the owl god Moloch at Bohemian Grove, sacrificing effigies to a fake deity, singing songs and blasting triumphant music and drinking babies' blood to stay young, just like Tom Cruise. All these people are not going to be exposed because they threw the key away. They killed the key. They suicided the key. The key was Jeffrey Epstein. And now they have thrown away the key. Dead men truly tell no tales. I hope that story of government corruption, unfixable government corruption, child molestation, pedophilia rings, ruined innocent lives. I hope that story relaxed you and gave you some comfort in life. I hope that you were thoroughly relaxed. This may as well be ASMR. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to Sergey Speaks, episode 25. And I hope you learned that, yes, Bill Clinton can be a pedophile too. And apparently so can Chris Tucker, like that Chris Tucker, apparently. Like that, he was on the plane. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this Sergey Speaks video, episode 25. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Servanov_ and at Sergey_speaks. Make sure every 10 a.m. Central Standard Time Friday, you tune into Spotify to listen to my podcast, The Sound of Sergey. I will talk about anything and everything. Make sure to also tune in every Friday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, noon, to this very YouTube channel to get an episode of Sergey Speaks, and the weeks between that you will get an episode of Snapshot, my new photography series where I take you through my photographic process. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.